Even when pregnancy is unwanted or difficult, it's temporary. This is the difference between pregnancy and abortion. Abortion is permanent. Pregnancy is temporary. And if you actually think about it, what's often said, and again, having been in a lot of discussions with pro-choice people, why should any woman be required to, for 9 months, have this other human being on board, or this, and sometimes this invader, this outside force that has come into her, almost making it sound like the child has done this horrible thing by being conceived, Well, first of all, it's not 9 months. You're not aware of a pregnancy. Okay, if the earliest abortions are taking place 8 weeks, that's 2 months into the pregnancy. And if a child becomes viable by 7 months, roughly, well then there's like a 5 at most, let's call it a 5-month window, and lots of times it's going to be more like 4 months because she might be later in the first trimester before this child will become viable. So number one, we're not even talking about 9 months. We're talking about what might be 4 or 5 months. It shouldn't matter, but the fraction's even smaller than it's normally, so what portion of this person's lifespan will be seriously inconvenienced as a result of this? And they can place the child for adoption, so they will have no future inconvenience. And then people talk about, but the guilt of giving up the child. Well, trust me, we had a girl live with us and is a dear friend of ours who had a couple of abortions and placed a child for adoption. And it was not easy placing that child for adoption, but she has a radically different view of how she feels about her abortions and how she feels about her adoption. And a woman can, and I know women who do properly, feel proud that they actually had the courage when a lot of people were telling them, get the abortion, to give birth to a child and to place that child into home. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it gives some basis for self-respect as opposed to taking away self-respect.